Music does more than entertain, it binds us together. Grassroots venues are not just performance spaces, they are social lifelines. They give us somewhere to belong. Here, strangers sing together though they've known each other forever. Generations meet at the same stage, passing the traditions and memories. The teenager dancing at the front may one day be the parent at the back telling their child, "This is where I discovered my favourite band." When Andre and I first started talking about potentially doing a promotions company together, it was something that I didn't really know if it was going to work out. All I knew is that I had a lot of time to dedicate to it, and I truly believe that if you put the right band on the right stage, you can make amazing things happen. I believed that I could take a band that nobody had ever heard of and have the entire room leave at the end of the night with a new favourite band. Promoting is equal parts passion and gambling. You put down a deposit that you can't really afford and book a band that you believe in and just sort of hope that enough people out there care enough to buy a ticket. Introducing people to new bands has always been one of my favourite things to do. That spark of discovery is the reason I do this, and when I see those international artists, sometimes nervous and often far from home, step onto our stage and be met with love and open ears and open hearts, I feel that my work has purpose, and I feel like every single ounce of effort and every late night is completely worth it. To bring an artist from across oceans, across continents, across languages, and to watch them connect with people who may have never had the chance to see them otherwise, it's probably the greatest privilege of all, and I'm so proud that we've been able to welcome so many bands to this stage. In those moments, our small venue becomes something much bigger. It becomes a gateway to the world. Ramsgate Music Hall isn't just a room with a stage, it's a space that consistently punches above its weight. Equipped with highest quality audio and video equipment, that tiny room is so overspec'd for the size, but that's all part of the fun. We are forever looking to be our best, and for me as a promoter, that was at the heart of why I originally wanted to work so closely with this venue. From my first ever visit to Ramsgate Music Hall back in early 2014, I could tell instantly that this was where I wanted to make things happen. It's a genuine ecosystem built on trust, collaboration and love for music, and that's why I chose to put all of my energy here, because Ramsgate Music Hall isn't just surviving the changes in the industry, it's setting an example for how to move with them. It's proof that small venues, when they run with passion and vision, can still deliver world-class experiences for everybody. This is a place with a forward-thinking mindset. Every challenge becomes a chance to innovate, and every setback is seen as an opportunity to adapt and come back stronger. And that kind of resilience is really rare and very inspiring, not just for me as a promoter, but for all of the artists who play here and the audiences who keep coming back for more. This venue matters. It matters to the town, it matters to the scene, and it matters to the wider industry as an example of how independent music culture can still flourish. And being a part of that story and helping to amplify that is something that I feel incredibly lucky to be a part of. For me, working in gig promotion and collaborating with bands has always been more than a job and more than a passion. It's basically built me into who I am today. It hasn't just given me something to do, it's given me someone to be, and it's given me friendships and purpose and a confidence that I never thought I'd have. The thought of stepping away for a year hits me really hard. For as long as I can remember, I've been wired to keep the wheels spinning and to stay as close to the heartbeat of Mother Brain and music hall as possible. And walking away from that, even temporarily, almost feels impossible to picture. It's not just about missing the routine of organising shows or the adrenaline of seeing a plan come together. It's much deeper than that. These projects aren't just things that I do, they're a part of who I am, and they give shape to my days, energy to my weeks, and meaning to the chaos in my head. To suddenly be without that, it's like asking me to switch off a part of myself that never stops running. I'm leaving behind a family that has carried me through so much, and maybe that's the hardest part. Not the silence, but the distance. Not doing Mother Brain or Music Hall isn't just taking a break for me, it's learning how to live without the thing that has defined me for so long. Supporting small venues isn't just about keeping the doors open, it's about safeguarding the next wave of creativity and ensuring that the soundtrack of tomorrow isn't just dictated by algorithms, but actually born from communities of real people in real rooms together. In a world where so much of the live music industry is dominated by major cities, huge arenas and corporate giants, a venue like this is so vital. It creates access and it makes music feel personal again, and that intimacy is very powerful. You don't just watch a band at Ramsgate Music Hall, you literally share the room with them. You feel their energy directly and you're a part of the performance in a way that just doesn't happen in bigger, more detached spaces. Right now, the music industry is obviously facing some enormous challenges. Touring costs are higher than ever, it's harder for bands to travel abroad, it's harder to sell music, harder to cut through the noise online, and just harder to simply exist as a working musician. And yet, despite all of that, Music Hall has become a beacon of how small independent venues can adapt and evolve and still thrive alongside these determined musicians, and that is what makes it so special. We aren't just booking gigs, we're paying attention, we're thinking ahead. We understand what artists are up against and we're trying to work with those realities, not against them. Together we can create opportunities that benefit everyone. I think that the importance of documentation is just as vital as the shows themselves. A gig isn't just noise and lights for 2 hours, it's a connection, and unless someone captures that, it can basically vanish the second that the amps turn off. A single photograph can tell you exactly what it felt like to be in that room, the chaos, the intimacy. A filmed performance can transport you back years later, letting you relive the way that the crowd moved as one. At Music Hall, we're unbelievably lucky to have an incredible 6-camera live setup, which is where you can normally find me when I'm not putting on shows. I'll be tucked behind the screens, helping capture and preserve these moments. It's not about creating content, it's about archiving the heartbeat of our scene and our venue, and giving bands a record of their journey and making sure that these nights don't disappear. Decades from now, people will look back at these archives the same way that, we treasure grainy VHS footage of early punk shows or forgotten jazz clubs. They'll see the roots of something bigger, the humble beginnings of artists who then went to change everything. Through film, photography and writing, we ensure that the impact of the small, powerful rooms can stretch far beyond the 4 walls, inspiring people who weren't lucky enough to be there in that moment. Community is the real currency of live music. At first you see strangers trickle in, and over time those strangers become familiar faces that then become family, and they start coming to shows not just because of the band, but because they actually believe in what you're booking, and that is such an incredible feeling. Some of my most powerful memories aren't even just about the bands, they're about looking out from the back of the room and realising that this sold out room is something that I've helped make happen. The story of grassroots music venues is still being written, and it's in our hands. Every ticket that we buy, every band that we support, every pint that we order at the bar, it all matters. Grassroots venues hold history, but they do not stand still. They're living organisms, constantly renewing, constantly nurturing the next generation.